Resting now. Oh, well, thank you very much, sir. Appreciate you. Now, don't forget to hit the like button coming through the door. I am just the humble information submitter. Now, oh yeah, it's going down. Now, the reason that it is going down is because the majority of the people who are watching this the judge had asked both sides of the party, well, you've been watching this from a lot of different angles. You've been seeing this from the jump. The unfairness in what has happened to Sean Diddy Combs in this trial. It has been borderline criminal. And they're using the Mann Act and like holding it like it is a major crime against people. The Mann Act was meant to segregate when the law was created. They tried to modernize it to fix its own agenda, but it seemed to target a lot of black men. And now the Mann Act wasn't even considered a major case at all, definitely not a federal case, and especially when it didn't involve trafficking, which was the crime he was acquitted of. So now, just like they do, they move the goalposts. So now they're moving the goalposts on Sean Diddy Combs. Yep. That goalpost is being moved. And because the goalpost is being moved and they're setting it apart, the lawyers had to fight in court because the judge had ordered them to work together so that they can give the courtroom examples when trying to go into the sentencing for Sean Diddy Combs. Now, don't forget to subscribe to the page, y'all. Hit the notification bell. We need everybody here to be on the same page for this, because this is the last time Diddy was free, is when they came and escorted him to jail. And now, ever since the man was denied bail, which was ridiculous, when you've seen people who have done more and was charged with more get less. Then these counts: not guilty, guilty, not guilty, guilty, not guilty. And you see the transportation to engage in prostitution for two people. Now, how can he transport something that you said he was innocent of? So if he's innocent of these charges, how could he be charged with the transportation part of it if there was no Prostitution Act? So, of course, they don't want to grant Mr. Sean Diddy Combs a new trial. Now, as you can see from this letter, the judge had asked them both to work together to submit the evidence, or the examples is what they're called, together. So the government could not work together with Diddy's defense so they can collectively make a list to send to the judge. So now they're going to overload the judge with two different lists because the prosecution was not trying to work with the legal team of Sean Diddy Combs. And it says the government respectfully submits this letter in response to the court's July 9th, 2020 order directing the parties to provide sentencing data to the court in advance for the sentencing. Right? Proceeding in this matter, docket 451. Specifically, the court requested that the parties provide available data on sentencing imposed where the primary or sole conviction for a violation of 18 USC 2421. The base offense level under the sentencing guidelines were calculated under 2G1-1 and the criminal history category of I. The court further directed the parties to identify cases that match these criteria by docket number and jurisdiction, and instructed that no argument should be included in the letter. The government has located several cases that satisfy the criteria identified by the court, which are listed below. So they kick it right off. They submitted about 80 cases, right? The government came out and submitted about 80 cases that they felt are relative to Sean Diddy Combs' case. 80 of them, right? So these are section 1 of their examples, their key examples in the case. Now, this person here only got like 4 years. This Robert Blake person from New York ended up getting like 4 years. This Christina Green got 5, 6 years, 7 years. This person got 30 months for their case. And they said these people had no priors, or this was a first offense for them. And look at this, they got time. This is what the government is trying to say. Right? But they're flawed in their selection. And we're going to get to that. Ooh, we're going to get to that real soon. So they sent in 80 cases that they have that they could send in to try to say, oh, well, Your Honor, these are first offense. You got this person, Brandon Wright from Texas, and he did something similar, and this person, Mark Brenner. No, let me explain something to you. The government is playing a dirty game. And so the defense actually played a dirty game as well. And we're going to get to that. So after they supplied their 80, right? Their number one case that they wanted to put out here, right, was Felicia Alaminska, right? That's what I wanted to. Let me do it this way because it might be reversed. Felicia Alaminska, 51, and Jacqueline Arnacion, 33, both pled guilty in the participation of interstate prostitution scheme. They pled guilty to transportation of purposes of this in violation of the Mann Act. They pled and took a plea deal, right? Now, Encarnacion pled guilty to the interstate travel and aid in violation of the Travel Act, Title 18, in the section code. So, if you look at this sentencing, they faced 5 years and 10 years. Now, once again, you see the judge began all of this. This was an ICE undercover agent who met with these people, and they had a brothel, and they used a girl who would travel to Seattle, Washington, and work in a brothel for once a week. And Encarnacion was for this assignment. They were selected to run that assignment. So where the hell does this relate to Sean Diddy Combs? This is nothing like the Sean Diddy Combs case. And you put this as your first example. So you're already stacking the deck. And you're already making a poor example of what we're talking about with misdirection. And you loaded up 80 cases that are just like that. when they were trafficking. People were trafficked. There was a profit made in every single one of these cases. Nothing like the Sean Diddy Combs case. So they paraded this in front of the whole world for y'all to see, to try to get this man an unfair trial, to give him an unfair sentence. As they try to block my video from reaching people, everything. They want to shut anybody down that speaks up for Sean Diddy Combs or speak on the actual truth of what's going on in the case. They want you to listen to garbage, rhetoric, and lies. So now, here it is. The defense responds. They said this July 9, 2025 order to identify cases we believe matches the court's criteria. We provide 2 lists of the case. They sent over 100. The prosecution sent 80. They sent over 100 cases where the defendant was convicted solely under Title 18 USC. The defendant basis offenses level was calculated and a criminal history category. The defendant did not receive a downward departure. We identified 63 such cases in the United States, and they had another case that was way longer. Only 63 was in the United States. They had some outside of the United States that were involved in these cases that involved the Title 18. So Diddy's team came with it. They brought a long list. They couldn't come to an agreement with the prosecution. And they set it down to remaining Mann Act cases. And on the first, they hit him with this. Ooh-wee. Would you look at that? So we gonna get into all this and what this really means now. The same way we did on both sides. A lot of these cases, and some of them, they're missing information because some of the information, it was settled. Some of it is redacted. So you don't have all the information in some of those cases. And they've noted that the information, some of the information is lacking because the governments have to approve it or it's been sealed. So they can't get it unsealed. So they list some of these cases in which they, that were related, and some that were where the dockets have been sealed by government use only. They would have to unseal those documents. But it proved in the final results that these people got no time whatsoever or time served. Sentence, zilch, all the way down the board for the Mann Act, with people who was facing more harsher crimes than Sean Diddy Combs himself. So their point is, hey, we know some of this stuff isn't here, but it ain't because of our doing. It's because their government and wherever was going on in their privacy of their case, they sealed it. But the general point is this. They had crimes that were way worse than Sean Diddy Combs, and they were allowed no time or time served. And this thing was dismissed. So why these were first-time offenders, all on this list and related to that point. But let me get to why even this list is not related to Sean Diddy Combs, and nobody in this list in those cases are related to Sean Diddy Combs' case. Okay? We need to go into that. So you will have a full understanding into why people are upset. People have a lot of difference of opinions when it comes to this, and it's a lot of people confused. Now, the major problem that they're facing is the fact that what you're looking at with the USA versus Cross is that Sean Diddy Combs' case is unique in this essence. These cases here that you see, the majority of all of them are basically prostitution. And if the other person, there's normally more than one person involved in these cases. And in these cases, the person that paid the money, like facilitated, was facilitating these people for profit. They were sentencing these people to trafficking, selling them. Other persons were paying another person to handle the operation. They had a company in which they were doing this, and that person was caught in a collective RICO case, where they were doing all of this for profit. All of these cases are separate from Sean Diddy Combs, from prosecution and defense, because Sean Diddy Combs is the only case in the world history that they've ever seen that a man get charged for the Mann Act who didn't have anything to do with getting money in the situation. There was no money rendered for Sean Diddy Combs. He wasn't making any money off of this. He didn't sleep with any of the workers. He didn't sleep with any of the sex workers. So for him to be found guilty of flying them out for prostitution, when all he did was put up the money, he didn't even pay them. The girls set up the arrangement. He gave them money. And it was viewed as consensual in a court of law. So they weren't prostituted. So how could he be charged with flying out people for prostitution and to engage in acts when he never slept with any of the sex workers? Never in the history of doing this have that ever been a case. None of these cases are related to that whatsoever. So they do not apply. Yes, the Mann Act is transportation. It's the Transportation Mann Act over state lines. But there was no prostitution. If you fly your girl out and y'all go to the Maldives to have sex, did you break the Mann Act? No. Right, exactly. He just paid for people to come across. He supplied the money. The girls actually paid them. The people that actually committed the Mann Act was Cassie and Jane. They're the ones that committed the Mann Act. Diddy is the one that just put the money up. It was consensual. See, this is where the lines are being blurred, but they were in a relationship. He was in a relationship with Jane. He was in a relationship with Cassie. They wanted to have a threesome and invite another person over for it. She was with it and he was with it. So where is there a violation of a Mann Act until we prostitution. You just voted not guilty in a court of law for that to be even prostitution. So there's no prostitution. How could there be a Mann Act to fly somebody out for transportation for prostitution? It don't make sense. So you're flying them out for, you skip that process and go straight. There is no transportation if he's not guilty of actual prostitution. How could he how could he do that? This dude was not no doggone trafficker. It's like come on, this is ridiculous. It is completely ridiculous what they're trying to do here. And it's a black man, they want to just run him through the mud, and it's ridiculous. So I understood why they were fighting in court. I understood every reason why they was fighting in court for Diddy. They had every right to fight in court for Sean Diddy Combs. This case is a farce by the federal government. They don't want to give them a new trial because they know if they lose, they're going to lose. If it goes to another trial, they done. Because there's nothing there. If you take these Mann Act charges and you go ahead and get these things removed off your record, the government just want to make sure that they're not going to get sued, because Diddy has a massive lawsuit if this goes another way. You literally destroyed this man's career with these ridiculous charges. This is why I don't want to go to New York. I don't want to visit New York. I don't want to have nothing to do with New York. Their government. You saw the way they did Jonathan Majors. If that didn't wake you up as a black man to let you know, hey, these people are being targeted. They tried to throw any black celebrities around Diddy, knowing that Diddy hung out with more white celebrities damn near than he did blacks. This man opened up opportunities for black men to make money. Talking about some, I don't like his personal preference. Why are you in this man's personal bedroom? Nobody asked you to like his personal preference. So you gonna be okay with them acts that he do in the room? That's his room. And them women volunteered. Did you see them screaming to get out? No, nobody was screaming to get out. They calling him, hitting them up, saying, I'm always down to freak out. How you omit that? That's what I want to know. How you omit that? How you gonna go past that? That they chose this life. And they wanted this life because they want the lifestyle. They want that. They wanted the lifestyle. They don't want to get that up. They don't want to give it up. That's the main reason I said I don't trust it. Because here's the news. When you see people that live like that don't want to give it up, they don't want to, they still live in the lie, there's a reason for that. There's a big major reason why people live like that. They trying to say they got down in 2021 or something, like at a party, and they had a threesome. And they did a freak off even after they broke up. So that's why they trying to use the Mann Act for that one charge. And They trying to use Jane's case for that as well. So this is why we end up in these situations. Because we keep telling you the truth, they keep hitting you with lies. Man, it's crazy like that, man. It don't stop. It don't stop. Well, when you see situations brew that don't make sense, forgot what I was bringing with me. When you see situations brew that don't make a lot of sense, it's natural for you to question it. It's only natural. And that's why I tell people to question the authority. Ask the questions. You're not wrong for asking a question. I'll be like, hey, let me ask a question here. I'm confused on the subject matter. I need an answer. There's nothing wrong with asking questions. There's nothing wrong with asking questions. That's because 9 times out of 10, we need people that's going to understand the process in the matter. See, the process normally is bigger than what you could ever fathom. You're surrounded by a combination of different things, right? These lawyers were supposed to work side by side with the prosecution so that they can come up with a list. Ask yourself why that didn't happen. Ask yourself why the prosecution couldn't come up with a list with the defense to submit to the judge, as the judge had requested that they both do. Why they couldn't come to an agreement on submitting a list is because that they want to try to pull, while the other one is saying this is ridiculous all the way across the board. There should have been a mistrial. That's a fact. It should have been a mistrial. Diddy should have gotten bail even after the case. To be held with no bail because of the Mann Act is monumentally insane. He should have been on house arrest at the least. This is to let you know the government is not even playing by the laws that they created. So the people of New York, it's up to you. You got to start voting people out of office. That's how it works. When you go to the courtroom, you learn about these judges. You look at that thing and say, oh, okay, Judge Sobraneman, bye-bye. Your service, they put a judge on the case 2 years off the bench. 2 years. He been sitting on the bench for 2 years. And you give him the biggest case that y'all have had since damn near the OJ trial. Now, he should have time served and sent home. And they made him serve over a year in jail, which is just monumentally insane. We're approaching a year for Sean Diddy Combs being behind bars. And the reasoning behind it is what makes it puzzling to the world. Why would we be looking at that list? It shouldn't even be a list. Oh, no. The reason why it wasn't televised, this is how accidents happen here. They just start turning. Now, no, the reason they have, they didn't televise it because it's a federal case. They don't televise federal cases. OJ case was a state case. Yes, the state is the people, federal case is the government. Yes, it's quite ridiculous. It's embarrassing, to say the least. Well, what you want to do is always be able to rise up to the occasions. So, no. They did it all wrong. And the reason they did it wrong is because they didn't want to do it right in the first place. This whole case was a farce. They knew it. They had no evidence whatsoever. They dressed it up with claims and charges and bringing name appeal with Kid Cudi and all these. And it's just backfired. Cassie Ventura she just reduced herself down to a low example of a human being. That was clearly all her. That was 100% all Cassie Ventura. She made the decision she made. Nobody else can change that for her. On the real. What's up, bro? I'm just telling the facts. When you lay on your back for money, and I told the truth, and you like, man, you hating on Cassie and propping up Diddy. No, I know what Diddy does for a living. Nobody likes his lifestyle, and nobody, that's sick. But that's not, I don't have to be in that bedroom. I don't have to do those acts. So why do I care what he's doing in his personal bedroom that don't concern nobody? He ain't breaking the law in his personal bedroom. Everything going on in that house is between his girl, which is Cassie at the time, or whoever girl he was dating, and whatever they decided to do. You didn't hear any of them complaining. He paying $10,000 a month rent on her place. Did you hear them complaining? Nope. She want to still stay with Diddy. They want that lifestyle. Most people have what they call addictive personalities. So when you see things like you see things like what they put in place or things that make others feel uncomfortable, you start ruining situations before they even get started. Absolutely. Why would I put in 30, 40, 50K towards this? Do you know how much they was getting paid? Most of those dudes were getting like $1,000. $1,000 and a free trip to go out and sleep with Cassie Ventura. And Cassie was looked at as, oh, this sexy girl, and oh my God, she's so beautiful, Cassie, and they just loved it. They could push and sell this girl. The fact that, oh, they held her album back. No, it wasn't good. Cassie couldn't sing, she couldn't dance, and nobody seemed to care that she was a wicked person. And what you was going to find out in that text message and from people that really knew Cassie is she's nasty, she's got mood swings, and she took a lot of drugs, and the drugs could have been responsible for that. So you found out she was a drug addict, she drunk all the time. Then you see how she was in the video. She was all for it. She's smiling all in the video. She is having a blast. It was nothing out of no fear. And they knew that. The jurors came out and told you. They was like, no, I didn't see that. And then Don Richards' story blew up on the stand. Why would you put her on the stand? You know this person's story is spotty, but you needed to take somebody who has a civil lawsuit against Sean Diddy Combs. None of these people are suing criminally, and her lawsuit will be thrown out as well. Diddy already got a $60 million lawsuit, civil lawsuit. He won that. Got it thrown out. All these people are in trouble, trust me, when Diddy come around. This whole smear campaign just shows you the power and reach of all these other creators. Have you noticed that creators such as myself, who's already established on YouTube, all of a sudden my traffic stops when I start talking about Diddy? It halts and comes to like somebody slammed on the brakes when I start talking about Diddy. This is breaking information that's going on in this case, and they don't want nobody to know about it. But if Teaser Tales comes out and say, ooh, guess what happened? It got real bad for Diddy today. Here they come allowing her to get all this damn traffic. but they want to block other people from stating what they want to state. That's what you call the witch hunt. That's what you call trying to uneven the scales, because they want to push an agenda and not the facts. Have you noticed they haven't sent no takedown notice of any of the videos, because they know what I'm saying is accurate. I'm going off the facts. The facts of the case. The facts that Cassie was a hoe. The fact she was a drug addict. The fact she was a drunk. Fact she was mean. She used every man she ever been with. She was manipulating and using people. She manipulated Ryan Leslie. She saw him as an older guy she can get with to get to a position in a spot. Absolutely. You know what she did. They took her right. Diddy was giving her the money. He didn't want to give her that much, but he like, look, come on now, stop this. It's ridiculous. He just didn't want this to get out to ruin his reputation because he knew about the tape. The feds wanted to use this thing against him. All the freak off takes they got from Cassie. So when they went and raided Diddy's house and got all that, they didn't get anything off Diddy's computer servers, none of that stuff. They didn't get nothing off Diddy's phones. They just went and got all the text message conversations. Diddy can't be Epstein because there's no underage girls. There's no plan to sell them. There's none of this. All of these lies that these other women were telling, they've been given to celebrities and all this stuff. It's nonsense. It just goes to show you what these people will do constantly and over again when put in said situations. They will lie. Yeah, they gonna lie. What else they gonna do? They will sit there and lie. They don't care. These people have no integrity anymore. You think they care about putting their hand on a Bible and swearing? They don't fear God no more. They walk in there and they just lie. Because there's no consequences to it. If now somebody told them, okay, if you get found lying, you're going to go to jail, I bet you a lot of these cases stop. But as long as the law is the way it is now, the majority of these people will continue, unfortunately, to do the activities that they've been doing, and that is lying. Serious, man. They've been lying for so long, it's sickening. And now that they put this case together, I mean, Maureen Comey has a name. That whole thing is very political as to why she was let go. The Diddy trial was just the last failure on the plate. That's why she was put on the case. Trust me. They couldn't win that case in a million years. But they say, oh, she the Epstein lawyer, let's put her on the case. So they replaced the person who was actually trying the case, the man, and put her in charge. And she had all women, all novice. And I can't really blame them. I'm not blaming the prosecution. They had a case that shouldn't even been prosecuted in the first place. So they were given a case, they just had to do their jobs and do it the best way they could, and they were submitted, and whoever collected the evidence should have been arrested and fired, period. So you terminate the prosecutor who prosecuted the case. She no longer is working for the government, she's a civilian. So now she's out trying to figure it out, what she's gonna do now. I don't know if there's work for her in the private sector or not, but you know, when your dad is former director of the FBI, they'll find something for you. Now, right, see, that's what happens. When you have a stellar career or you got a name, they put you in the private sector where no one's gonna see you work, no one's gonna hear from you anymore, but you got stature. And in the private sector, it's like an elite group. Most of these guys look out for each other. You'll make a lot more money. Whoa, you make big money. And you never have to worry about anything because everything is free. And they pay you money. Oh, you go out to dinner, that's covered. You're going to here for a concert or this, that's covered. Everything is covered. So what did you really need the money for? See, all of these people are coming from selected groups. See, take for instance, you have someone such as oh, great, we got a train. Somebody who's in a situation yes. Oh, hell no. It's a freight train. I thought this was Metro. But it's going fast. But anyway. Yeah, you get stuck in this whole right and wrong thing, and this is for glory, this is for that, this is for the legacy. Okay, and hit the like button up, people. Because if this is for legacy, then why are they talking to you? Exactly. When you look in the private sector and you see how they operate, most of them are part of communities. All right, it looks like it's coming to an end. Most of them are part of a group. They went to Princeton. They went to Harvard. They went to Yale. They go into very prominent, like Ivy League schools. And the reason they went to these Ivy League schools and colleges is due to the fact that can you please stop ringing that bell? Thank you. Yeah, the reason why they do that and they go to these schools is a main factoid. And the main factoid is this: no one cares. They go to these major schools because they come from old money. Now, when you come from old money, that's different. You see, old money is always going to be different than new money. See, when you got old money, old money. Yeah, that's what they do. When you got old money, they go out and prepare you for everything in the book. There's no way free puff. Oh, well, here's the thing, man. You're going to be stuck in a conundrum dealing with all of the nonsense that goes on in the world, then congratulations. Knock yourself out. You want to be caught up in the madness, go on here. Knock yourself out. But like I always say, man, the truth always come to the light. And when everything come up to the forefront, I want to see where they gonna be. Yeah, when man, you get caught in the private sector, start doing work, man, everything is covered. That's like being in a fraternity, man. For eternity. They got you for life. You ain't got to worry about nothing. Now, the major thing you need to probably ask yourself is why people don't go into the private sector right away. Because mostly, a lot of these people like the limelight. But it's like, dude, you've already spent 20, 30 years fighting law, the legal system. You know every law in the book. You don't really need nothing else. You're good. Money over everything. That's how these people think. Yeah, Gilbert Arenas is right now DMing me. He finally got his courage back after he saw I had pictures of his wife in a position that he didn't think I had. I'm like, before she was your wife, buddy boy. I had to give him the LL Cool J laugh. Yeah, you silly. You silly. I had the LL Cool J laugh on him, boy. Hit him with that flare. She was mine before she was yours. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. On One Crack News, I'd already showed the evidence. Yes, sir. In case people thought I was lying. You know, I showed the photos. So, oh, I promise you. Oh, Brian Steele and the rest of these dudes, man, they done did their job to the fullest. Now, they got to get Diddy out. That's all it's about now, is getting Diddy out. Everything else is academic at this point. Getting Diddy out of jail and getting him out of this nonsense is the only thing left on the table to do. Okay? He gets to keep his money. He gets to deal with all this craziness, and I don't know what Gene Deal's talking about now. I mean, how many times are you going to talk about Diddy? The whole world know you don't like him. Congratulations, you don't like Diddy. All right? Are you happy now? Is it clear to you? No one cares. Newsflash. No one cares. I mean, really, seriously, how many times are you going to talk about Diddy on 16 different platforms? You done milked this thing for 7, 8 years. You haven't worked with Diddy in about 25 years. You ain't been around this man in that long. How much more juice do you got? Right, talk about something else. I don't care. Talk about the rainstorms or whatever. Just stuff is just with him. It's just like that ruins your credibility because everything is jaded. Diddy ain't did nothing right. He gave you there. I mean, you going too far. All through the case, he ain't going off none of the case files. All this dude is doing is going off of, this look like the feds following me in the black Cadillac truck. I was just like, man, when did they start driving Cadillac trucks? This Cadillac truck been following me forever. Like, it's a black Cadillac truck on that side. He fall back in a good area where you can't really see him. But he's in my rear view. He been following me forever. Like, distance back. What's up? Hit them all like, what? They know they can't touch us. So, it's blacked out. You can't see anything in this truck. Okay, he's riding up. Now he's braking. Oh, now he wants to fall all the way back. Boy, watch how I lose this fool. See, that's the thing. I know this area. He don't. Now he thinking he gonna dip behind them. You gonna hide 3 cars back? I'm not gonna notice you, huh? Okay. You gonna disguise yourself. Watch how I lose this fool. I know exactly where I'm gonna lose him at. Bye-bye. Better call your backup. You've been spotted. Get your new tail, Obi. Like I lost him. I lost him on 45. Can we please send somebody out there? How did you lose him? Well, it's rush hour traffic and, I kind of got spotted. So now he's going to fall off on me. Somebody that's close by going to pick it up. And then I got to recognize the new tail. I don't know what they want. But unless they want information on Gil, I ain't got nothing for them. Oh, my Wi-Fi is off. But you're right, they could trace you. If they got the plate of the car, they could easily trace it. With all this computer stuff in here, yeah, they could probably trace the car. But I just want to know what they want. It's probably because of this Diddy case. LeBron, man. No, LeBron, man, they too stupid. They be sitting there arguing about who's gonna drive. Man, I'm driving. No, I'm driving, man. I be sitting over there now. Y'all, I don't know who's gonna drive, but I think he should drive. He's shorter and fatter. He's tall and skinny. Thanks for the super chat. Thanks for the super chat, Kai. Yeah, we in here making it happen. They always hate the great. That's what I do, man. Gotta keep going strong, man. Cause shoot, ain't no backup coming in. I am the backup. Yeah, I heard about that. That was sad to hear about. What my plans are? Work, and work again. So yeah, we just showed y'all the gist of the system. So if you seen how they did the list, Diddy's list couldn't be done properly because by the defense, because a lot of the evidence in those cases are redacted. Some they've settled, they sealed certain cases, so they can't get them unsealed. But the commonality of the end result is they got no time. So that all, ended up making a lot of sense in the case. Now, with the prosecution, what they did was put a whole bunch of cases together that have nothing to do with Diddy. Just showing people that got the Mann Act, but it's not like Diddy's case. None of these cases were like these. Diddy's is a first of a one of one. It has never been done before in the history of mankind. Have you seen such a case? Now, oh, I still got it on me. Gotta have it on you when you step out here. In case that wasn't the feds, that was somebody creeping. They're gonna run into some thunder. Yep. So I'm gonna get up out of here. So that ought to make them happy. Peace. Oh yeah, go to the Patreon. Oh yeah, part 4 of the interview is going up. Part 4 of that exclusive interview is going up. Oh, this is why I got it.